But yeah, what's up, YouTube? I'm here with the Nash, Draco Nation,
Okay,
here to
thank you.
discuss chapter One Piece chapter 980. You thought I was gonna say Draco, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure.
I
Like I
didn't.
like the truco, like you always saw the D real weird, like the
Draco.
truco. Yeah, yeah,
But
Draco.
yeah, do
That's
you
all
want
good.
to talk about the cover?
I didn't even see it in Sam, man.
I mean, I honestly skipped by it the first time too, but it's just Chiffon,
Ooh,
or no, it's Lola. Chiffon's the one with Capone. I
yeah.
honestly forget because I don't care about either of them. But yeah, Lola's
I don't,
doing the
I don't
whole
know
she meets them and
what the hell
instantly wants to
happened.
marry him thing.
I feel like Capone's like a mobster dude that would like be all about like slaying some dimes, not like fucking Lola or Chiffon. I guess he had to marry her because the wedding, but like I feel like he should have chose someone else or
I
anything.
mean, yeah, he obviously loves her. I mean, it's weird because Capone seems heartless in general, but then he
Yeah.
apparently is a family man despite also being a piece of shit. So they feel like they kind of contradict in a
Now that's
sense.
always seems like the case with like mobster people. Like they like have this entire persona outside, but they come home to like have family dinners and shit. And like they would get really pissed if like anybody threatened their family and shit like that. Like
Yeah,
family
there's
members.
definitely like a weird code of honor when it comes to a lot of mobsters.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly understand, but I guess it's just like insane selfishness, which I can kind of
Where,
understand a bit.
where do you think they're at? Is that Dressrosa?
Yeah, that's just also, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Cobblestones and like the buildings and shit.
But yeah, Lola's trash. Fuck Lola. I don't care about Lola. Let's move on.
I like her more than Chiffon though. That's it.
I guess. So Luffy gets mad that Tama she barely gets to eat, and these guys just throw away their food. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I
I don't
like
know
it.
if it's just the translation, but he's like, "Why the hell do idiots like you get to be completely surrounded by food?" I just find it weird. I was calling him an idiot instead of like a scumbag or something. I'm guessing that's just a translation thing.
Yeah. I don't think Luffy ever called anybody gay before, so that sounds kind of weird. But it might be a translation for sure.
Probably
Like
just
if
a
you get the
translation
sentiment,
thing.
if you get the sentiment like dirt bags like you was
Yeah,
Tama,
it's
just
just
like
weird. Like you're calling them an idiot because they're wasting food. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, it's probably just a translation thing. And the elephant guns them. That's going pretty fucking overboard. But I guess he
he's
wants to
trying
teach
to
him a
give him like
lesson.
permanent brain damage. Like that dude's gone, dude. He's like,
I guess
I'm
so.
surprised. I'm surprised his tongue didn't get ripped out with his razor sharp teeth he has. Like shit,
His
that's
fucking
crazy.
like his head is almost two dimensional at this point though.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole gag face.
that just shows you like how much Tom means to you, man. Tom fucking
Disgusting.
lives and stuff.
Disgusting.
Even your boy Zoro reacted that way next panel.
Yeah, when I read the spoilers, I was kind of interested in why Zoro cares that much. Like, does he care about Tama too? Because he barely even talked to her, or does he
That kind of
just?
felt. Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
That kind of like even though like I'm a big Thomas stan, Zoro saying that kind of caught me off guard because I didn't know he really cared about Tom like that. It was more of a Luffy and Tom relationship,
Yeah, for sure.
I guess. And I guess the queen of all queens got to him too.
See, when I read the spoilers, I assumed that maybe it was Yasui related. And I'm one of the people
Yeah.
that thinks that Zoro doesn't even care about Yasui that much because when him and Yasui were like walking around, it was like he was ignoring his existence in a way. Like Yasui
This,
was like trying to like talk to him and Zoro didn't really care. I just saw it
yeah.
as Zoro like respected Yasui, especially after like learning more about him.
Yeah.
And he's just mad that like someone that's worthy of respect got treated like a piece of shit and everyone just laughed at his death.
Yeah.
So
I
even though
I
he
just feel
like he
like
doesn't like really like him that much, I took it as he sees Yasuo's situation, he sees Tama's situation, but more so Yasuo because he was closer to him. And he's just like in general, people don't get to fucking eat at all, and then these fucking scumbags get to and they just throw it away like it's nothing. But apparently it's strictly about Tama, which I find kind of weird.
yeah. I don't think it's about like the Yasuo shit. I don't think he likes him. Just the fact that he just like he grew like you said he grew to respect him along the way. Even though he was like annoying to him on the road, he realized like he's actually a respectable person. And then like even though he did like want to be close to him, he kind of got close to him begrudgingly because of the time they spent together and shit like that. So he's like it's kind of fucked up that he's getting treated like that. I'd be mad too, even though I just barely met him.
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, even if it's someone that Zoro dislikes but he respects, he would just be mad that you're laughing at someone worthy of respect's death.
Yeah, and the way he
But
kind of died was kind of sucked too. Fucked him up.
yeah, for sure. Do you think it's strictly about Tama, or do you think like Tama's just the first person he thought about? Because that would definitely make more sense.
I think it's like you said, it's like a overall like unfairness shit where he's gotta just taking people's food and stuff. But it's also like Tama, he kind of had a run in with Tama, and he can like empathize with her, and her enough could be enough to make him that mad. Like,
I don't remember if Zoro even ever interacted with Tama other than giving her like the mean stares, like you gonna eat it? You gonna eat that?
no, she was like he was with her the entire time she was sick and shit. And then when Luffy was getting her back from the Hold'em guy,
Did she really
he
talk
was with
that
them.
much during that time though?
I don't think they themselves interacted, but
Yeah, that's
like
what I meant.
like you could see him like he remember like he had that was that Luffy having the flashback, or they both having the same flashback of Tama that got him like really
Uh,
triggered.
both pretty much.
Yeah,
Zoro just had like a small panel where he just thinks about Tama looking at the apple in general.
yeah. I guess Tama is just a symbol of like all the unfairness, and like you can group like Yasuo and all that shit to it too.
Yeah, I
Wano.
guess.
Yeah. Tama's the queen of all queens, bro.
Eh, eh. But
I actually kind of like how Zora's like, you've already ruined everything. He's like actually trying to keep like this is like I don't know, multiple times he actually try to give a fuck about the plan. Like he doesn't actively try to ruin it like Zora Luffy does.
yeah,
Like
I also like how he heard the brawl and he rushes towards him. Like he's like, even if Luffy's surrounded by Kaido by his calamities, like I'm rushing in there to help my guy.
that's a homie, dog.
Yeah. And then Kid is like, is this guy fucking serious? Can he hear himself? Because I guess from his point of view, he's like, Zoro's an idiot because he's making even more commotion.
Yeah,
But the way I saw it was Zoro, he's thinking, Luffy already like threw it. Like, whether I do this or not, like it's not gonna change anything.
yeah, but he still has to get like that piece in where like he just criticizes him because he can't. Luffy, fucking idiot. Let's go fight people.
Yeah.
Same shit with whole like Kinemon. Yo, Kinemon will be mad about this, but fuck it, let's go. He's gotta like try to be reasonable. Like he's responsible, the responsible in between the two.
I do find it kind of funny how Kid and I don't know if it's Kid and Killer, it probably is. Like they're like, why the fuck did they care so much about Oshiriku? Like that is something that you definitely think. Like you're like, why the fuck do they care so much about this random ass food? Like they're gonna ruin everything just for this? Like what the hell? That's a
Yeah,
good way of showing like another perspective from people that don't like realize all the context.
yeah. It seems like an inside, like it is an inside thing between them, and the fact they acknowledge it kind of dope. Like yeah, like the kid listening to that, like, wait, why you guys like starting all this commotion over some food?
He's like
That
so
seems like
weirded
hell.
out.
Yeah, it seems like so odd.
Yeah, that was like the only comedy in the chapter I really enjoyed. I
I
mean,
like the
Kid
first part of the chapter, for sure.
Kid like being like Zoro's a fucking idiot for causing all this commotion. Like, I can see why people would find it funny. I just don't really think his point of view make much sense.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and it also didn't make sense to me because they were the ones that were afraid of Kid starting a commotion, and Kid is also prone to starting commotion. So for him to care about other people starting commotion, it's kind of weird. So like, everyone just trying to worry about someone else's starting commotion when they're historically the ones that started commotion. It was
It's
like
just so
ironic to
weird.
me.
Like, do they think they're gonna sneak attack Kaido or what? Like, I don't get it.
Like, and even when they were making commotion, didn't like kids say this is good for us? Like, there's distraction or something like that. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up.
I think he might have said that. I'm pretty sure at first he said this is bad.
Yeah.
Let me breeze by it real quick.
He says, like, I think it was one of his crewmates says, these disguises will get us right to the banquet. Oh, why an idiot. Leave him. He just made our lives easier.
Oh yeah, true,
Basically,
true. So basically, he has the same plan as Law.
yeah.
I just want to know what's the point of like getting in so like obviously you don't have to fight through everyone to get to Kaido, but if you're not strong enough to just wipe the floor with them, then you're not doing anything to Kaido anyways. So it makes me think like either it just doesn't make sense or they actually think they're gonna sneak attack Kaido or something.
Yeah. And I feel like the only way like you're ever going to see Kaido in any situation right now is if he comes to you. Like, you're not going to go to Kaido. I don't think that's how it's going to happen. They're going to start a commotion and Kaido's going to come down. They're going to fight him there. I don't think they'll go to him. I don't think they'll ever get to him.
But yeah, that's how it's gonna like end up, of course. Uh,
In that one picture where like he's saying leave him. Do you think Zoro is the one that cut the building?
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I thought it was Luffy at first, even though that was like obviously he wouldn't cut, but I thought like maybe he destroyed it and it just ended up looking like a cut.
I guess Zoro, as soon as he saw the commotion, he just started fucking people up himself. He's like, yeah, we're doing it. I guess let's go.
Yeah, he has to seal the show. A top one
Yeah,
supernova. You know what I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying. Speaking of that, get down on those supernova. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, let's move on to the real shit, I guess. Quote unquote real shit.
Yeah,
So they talk about a bunch of meaningless shit pretty much. Like Luffy and Zoro's like, we need to get out of here. We need to go attack Kaido. And then Queen actually brings up something interesting where he's like, there's someone out of the Flying Six that I want to get rid of. And I guess like it's kind of interesting who he means. I'm guessing it's who's who because he seems to be like the most annoying, like the person that's going for like replacing one of them the
yeah,
most arrogant, I guess. But the more
yeah.
interesting part for me from that is like it seems like he wants to kill him. Like he just wants to beat him so badly, he literally kills him. And that's
Yeah,
just
he's
interesting to
definitely
me
killing him.
because Kaido like he works so hard to like preserve and grow every bit of manpower he can muster. So to
Yeah,
just like lay waste to a Flying Six member like that, it just seems so counterintuitive. Maybe it's because they now have the alliance with Big Mom, so they're like, it doesn't matter now. We have like more than enough manpower. But it just
the way
seems
I took
weird.
it, yeah, the way I took it is that I don't think like what's his name, Kaido has this whole like the strongest prevail shit. So I don't like if someone wants to fight another person on some Viking rules, he's not gonna have like a problem with it. Like if it's like between two people, and whatever goes down goes down. Because even though he loses somebody, that person wasn't probably strong enough to like go up in his crew anyway. That's what
I
I
mean,
think.
he
And
cares about like fucking fodder. Like he wants
yeah,
to raise a
but
Zoan army of like mostly fodder.
yeah, but apparently they also have like other people in the tuck that are strong enough. So they're losing somebody strong, but there has to be a reason why he's doing it that's like beneficial to the crew. I don't because like maybe because like I don't know why he would choose one person unless that person is kind of like fucking him over in their own way, you know.
I feel
Synergy
like
of the
that person
crew.
just pisses off Queen. But I feel like for
Yeah,
Kaido, it would make a lot more sense if he's just like, okay, you're all gonna fight, but no killing allowed, so we can preserve manpower. This is the
yeah.
same
But if
guy that like he wants the people to work in Currytown. I think like he wants them to like save every scrap of resource they can on some
yeah, so you
crazy
think
shit.
like he like in Kaido's like crew, like if you take an L, you kind of get demoted type shit by the same in the crew. So like you already like you can't be a Toby Ropo if you getting shit on like that. So he just cuts like demotes him and someone else takes the spot. 'Cause I don't think any other way
Yeah. And
besides
this
killing
also
him.
is a good counter argument for the whole Page One over Hawkins thing because unless Hawkins actually challenges one of them, he has no way to join it, even if he's like up to par with
Yeah,
strength.
yeah. Pedro's not bad. Also, the thing that was like, oh, I really want to happen is if he discovers that ex Drake is a shooter or like a fake. That'd be dope. I don't know how he would. The fact that like a top tier crew like the Kaido Power has people that are intuitive enough to like investigate shit and like go on like you've seen King like use his own like intuition to like call people over and stuff like that. What if Queen is like the person that's like kind of in charge of the
After
defensive and
being
like kind of
completely autistic throughout all of
yeah,
Wudon?
yeah, maybe I don't know. That'd be sick.
Maybe. I mean, I would like like displays of competence, but I don't even know if I care that much anymore because they've been so hilariously incompetent throughout the whole arc that it's like it just leads to more inconsistency at this point. Like if they're stupid, like at some point just let them be stupid instead of randomly making them like competent.
Yeah, and the thing is that I don't think like X Drake has been doing a really good job of like hiding his persona. Like I don't think he like had any slip ups that I could think of. Maybe some stuff will be like revealed later, but I doubt he's somebody that's like he's like the perfect person to be a spy on some Virgo shit. I don't think anybody would like expect him.
Yeah. I assume X Drake is just pretty smart in general. I would probably say he's the smartest out of the supernova, which there isn't much to back that, but that's my personal opinion.
You know, I say Zora.
You said Zoro?
I'm
Respectable.
joking.
Respectable. Joking. That's a respectable take.
Yeah,
Definitely ain't fucking
yeah.
law with
I
his.
like a. What do you even think Apu's rank is? I don't know if they were ever mentioned. Is he headliner? I'm assuming.
He's
He has to be
probably a
kind of a
headliner.
higher
There was that thing where was he one of the fuck are those things called?
Toby
The
Ropo.
numbers. Where it was like was
Oh
he one of the
yeah.
numbers? But I think he's probably a headliner.
The thing is, right? I feel like he's a headliner, but like he's like if anybody become the flying six, it would be him. Next up, he seems to be like the most person given like trust and guidance crew amongst the headliners.
I mean, he's like
Shit.
the most bombastic and probably like displays his wanting to be one of them the most, while Hawkins
And I
is
think
probably like a lot
Queen
more low
likes him.
key.
And I think Queen likes him. Basically,
Yeah.
how like
Seems like Kaido likes
over
him
the top
too.
it is. Yeah. He's a DJ too. He's like DJing their fucking party.
Yeah. What did Queen refer to him as? Like he seems so friendly with him.
Yeah.
He said,
I don't
"Yo
know.
yo, what's good, my brother?" Oh yeah, damn, that's pretty friendly.
Yeah. Yo, it's good, my brother. Dude, the way they talk it looks like we got some rats straight
That's
out of
straight out the
Compton.
udon, and then
Yeah.
it seems like Oda's trying to justify it, but you can't justify it because they should have sent people to make sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no reason to not send more people. It's been what, weeks? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Mm.
But yeah, on to the main event of the chapter, which was like 3 panels or something. Apu hits Luffy with like a punching like attack,
Yeah.
and I guess the implication is the more he sees them tank, the more he's like, oh, okay, these guys kind of serious. So he goes for a stronger attack because the first attack it seems like Luffy tanks it no problem, and then I would assume the slice on Zoro is definitely way stronger than what he initially gave Luffy, and then I would assume the explosion is even stronger than that because it actually knocked Luffy out. So it seemed like
Apparently,
he didn't have that much respect for him at first, and then sees Luffy tanky. He's like, okay, they're kind of strong. He sees Zoro tanky. He's like, god damn. So he's like, all right, I need to fucking go in to like take care of these guys, and then he just rocked Luffy's shit. I guess. I still find it extremely weird because Luffy could withstand Cat's barrages for like 12 hours, but now he just
it's
gets
like a
knocked out
weird
on the
attack.
spot.
It's like a weird attack that like fucked up his internal organ or something. But the thing about like his attacks, like apparently it's the same shit he used against Kizaru. It's like apparently if he like stomps his chest, that's like hits you like in the body or something, and he like slaps his mouth, it like slashes. So that's what happened when
Mm.
he like slapped his chest versus Luffy. It hit him like in a body shot, and like he like starts to slap his mouth versus like the shit. He fucking hits like not Luffy, but what's his name? Zoro with like a slash that cut up Kaido, that cut up Kizaru's arms and shit. You know, so like he
Yeah,
had like
something
that's
people
the same
say.
shit.
You go ahead.
That's
Oh,
the
were
same
you
shit he
done?
used against Kizaru. Yeah, it's not like anything new he's using. He might
Oh,
be in
okay.
higher potency, but yeah,
Something people say is like he had the ability to just cut Kizaru in half. Like Kizaru's durability isn't up to par to defend against the attack, but since he's a Logia, it saved him. And I just
no
think that's
chance.
shit logic. I mean, you kind of use similar logic for your whole, and you might be trolling about the crocodile and Akainu thing. You're like, crocodile can cut Akainu in half, right?
No, that's troll. I'm saying
Okay, yeah.
he took an L because he slowed him down. That's the only thing I said. Not because he cut him in half. No
I
chance.
mean, this would be a good way to hype up Zoro because you're like, he can cut Kizaru in half, but Zoro tank that slash. But
Uh-huh.
if you look at it realistically, like those fighters that shot Kizaru in the head, their bullets went through Kizaru too. Like that doesn't mean
He ate
Kizaru
every
can't
he
withstand the
literally
bullets.
he literally ate everything just to like let him know you can't touch me. It was like a flex. He knew none of them there had hockey, and if he did, he'd probably tell it was observation hockey or something.
Yeah.
Same way Akainu did was the Vista and Marco attack. They were gonna be hockey bladed attacks. Like they definitely have a way of telling it's hockey bladed. So like he was fine the entire time. And if Zoro and Luffy can like be fine a second later, there's no chance Kizaru will be taking like any damage to like to it at
Yeah,
all.
people just need
Like
to
no way.
stop with the whole Apu's the only one that damaged Kizaru or like did
He
anything to
didn't damage.
Kizaru. He didn't do anything to Kizaru. Not even just
He
not
didn't.
damaging him. He didn't do anything.
His literally 100. His health bar is still 100. His like everything. His mana bar is still 100. Nothing changed, bro. He's chilling.
He literally
That's
did that
crazy.
to flex on him. Like Kizaru's a beast.
Yeah, for sure, dude. He ate, like you said, that's the perfect example. He literally ate bullets just to eat bullets because he knew he's not gonna do shit to him.
Yeah. Something I find weird about this moment is, I guess people can say Luffy's off guard, and it was a really strong attack, but
I hate it.
I just don't
You know, you
see
talking
how
about.
he can get knocked out, but then be back like seconds later. Like, of course they're gonna say like, okay, he wasn't knocked out against Cat's onslaught for like 10 hours, but at the end when he did get knocked out, he was out for way longer, and it's just weird to me how he can just be knocked out for a short amount of time. Like, why can't you withstand the pain and the damage and not get knocked out to begin with if it's not that substantial to where he won't be down for a while?
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know exactly how like long after he got up, but the face and everything reminds me of when he got hit with the trident against Katakuri. He literally was in so much pain. His eyes got whited out, and like he was back like a second later. So I don't really think this defined itself as a knockout. I feel like a knockout would be something like you're
I mean,
out for a
Zoro was
while.
carrying him.
Yeah, I guess like because he was in pain or something like that. But like at the next panel, he's up. So I don't know like how bad it was. You know what I'm saying? It literally was like 2 seconds after he's back up.
Yeah, but look at his face too. Like when Zoro's carrying him, he just looks lifeless. Like he's not even like
Uh,
moving his arms or his head. It looks like he can't control his body at all.
like 3 panels after, he like bites a crocodile while he's getting carried. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess he regains consciousness there. Luffy
I
didn't
just
one
think
shot the
like
crocodile. Trash. His bites
what
are
I'm
fucking
saying.
fodder tier.
I feel like when you don't expect an attack and don't know where it's coming from, you kind of like have your defenses like bypassed in a sense. So like if it was like a regular attack of that same magnitude that you can like a straight on attack and he eats it, I feel like it'd be good. But the fact that he did it like he literally just came from inside his body, he know what to do. That kind of like aided in him getting knocked out. But like
Hey, that makes
either
Zoro
way,
even more of a beast because he tanked
for
that shit like
sure,
a champ.
sure. And either way, he was fine. So like in a regular fight, I don't think he's gonna be like in a regular fight. It's like Zoro, what's his name? Luffy's willpower is like so high that I even think that would knock him out. If that makes sense.
It just
Yeah,
seems to
like
me like their reaction speed is like so fast that they'll get hit and like right as they notice their pain, they'll be like in the mindset of like, oh shit, I'm getting hit. I need to not get knocked out. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Like I don't think they
That's
should
kind of
like
weird.
go through like 3 seconds of like not thinking anything and just be like, oh shit. Like I feel like they should immediately gain their senses and be in that like mode where they're just ready to take damage.
Like did did Luffy run at Apu and he just get hit with that shit straight on? I think that's what it looks like. Yeah,
Was he running at him? He
it's
was.
like
No, he was beating up some like random fodder dude that looks like a fucking bear.
yeah,
Apu's just so weird to me because I don't know. I guess it's his arms. Like they look so weak. Like you could just like snap him in half. So it makes me
yeah.
feel like he's not a good close quarters combatant.
Yeah, you gotta like I don't even know how you like fight this, dude. Apparently, Future Sight could possibly fight it. I don't know why Luffy didn't foresee this.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know, people are gonna come up with excuses. He wasn't
They
focused. He
were
didn't have an activate. He was angry.
didn't have it activated. I know, like people was trying to tell me yesterday in stream, like Katakuri is a calm, collected person. He's always on the defensive, and Luffy's kind of reckless, so he's never gonna have it on. Fuck that, dude. Like he was in prison of Udon, like around fodder, and he had it out. But like apparently, when he's like near Queen and shit, he doesn't have it on. No, no
And
chance.
he already got hit by the first attack and it hurt him. So at that point, he should have it on for the second one.
For sure, for sure. What
I
do you
don't know.
think
I
about
guess
Apu though? Like, do
like
you think this
obviously
like
it's just
them?
inconsistency.
Do you think this puts them above like a lot of people, or is just like the fact that they don't know his abilities kind of giving him an advantage? I
I
think it's a
mean,
mix of both.
the fact that they tanked it no problem like shortly after and like he's kind of like Law in a sense where he's really dangerous because if you haven't gone against him before, he can catch you off guard. But Law is
Yeah,
more deadly in that scenario unless
I
you
was gonna
hockey
say
up
that.
in general. Like I don't know.
Unless Apu has like a one-shot ability, like whatever effect that Allah has, or like just it's like abilities like of that magnitude, you can even if you take damage to him, I feel like you can have a prolonged fight with him, and eventually understand his ability while still like guys like Luffy has insane durability and Zoro, like they'll eventually catch on to how the ability works and they'll beat him just off knowing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless,
Well,
I don't
I'll
even
give
know
my
how you can.
ranking and then I'll explain my feelings on Apu. So for
I don't
me,
even.
it's Luffy, Kid, Zoro, Drake, Law, Arouge, Hawkins, Killer, Apu, then Bonnie Capone.
Yo, that's tough.
Yeah, I
I'll
have
tell you my
him.
ranking. I'll tell you my ranking.
God,
So I have um I want to say Kid first, but whatever. Luffy, Kid, Zoro, Drake, Law,
don't say
Rouge,
Apu. Okay, you good?
Apu, Hawkins. I think Apu's better than Hawkins
Hmm.
because like he seems like a. I feel like he can hold his own against Kid. He loses, but it's gonna be like a good fight. I just
I
think
mean, it
like
depends on what happens next chapter, I guess.
yeah, Hawkins doesn't seem like a guy that has like really good fighting capabilities, even though he has hacks. He's like has the
That's
ability to
exactly
like
how I
know
feel about Apu.
true maybe yeah,
I
but
mean,
like I don't know
Hawkins
why you
showed he
put
could block Law's attack, no problem. So
yeah.
to me, it seems like if it's just a physical battle without Devil Fruits, Hawkins can contend with Law.
Yeah, even either way, we our top five are the same. I don't know what order yours was, if Drake was above Law or not,
Yeah, he was.
but I kind of maybe have Law above Drake because I sleep on Drake, but Law's not been that crazy to me. So like I have
See,
Drake
to
above
to
Law.
me, I feel like Arouge and Hawkins and even Killer have the potential to be above Law, depending on what they do.
Yeah, I have
But
like that's what I'm saying. Like Law is like kind of keep going down the longer he's with the Straw Hats. Before he was top three, but not
I
as
mean,
Zoro
yeah,
above
he
him
was portrayed
anymore.
as a rival, and then he was kind of made to be Luffy's bitch in a lot of scenarios, and then he got low diff by Dofi, and then it feels like if Law feels like the type of character that he either low diffs you or gets low diff because he's not that physically imposing, and
He's a
so
support character.
yeah, pretty much like his abilities
Yeah,
can be hacks, especially if he's like teaming up with people, but if your hockey's strong enough to block his cuts, then he's just not that impressive physically, and he either maybe gets a mez or a gamma knife off, or he kind of just loses. And I feel like, obviously, you know how I feel about Killer versus Zoro. I feel like Killer was done like terribly, and Zoro is just like magnitude stronger. But maybe Killer can show more. And Hawkins, I feel like he has a lot of potential. Even though compared to Zoro, he did look pretty fodder as well.
yeah, for sure. I agree.
But the reason I don't really hype up Pooh that much is
Wait, no, no.
because yeah, go ahead.
Actually, like, I agree to an extent, but unless Killer gets his actual personality back, I think he's gonna be like a bottom tier supernova. I think it's like a big kind of a decent nerf to him.
I mean maybe, but I'm just factoring in his position as Kid's right hand.
And I say that, but like in the interactions with Kid, he seems like even though he's doing fa, he had like some back to normal tendencies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He had his weapons back and shit.
That shit still isn't explained because the only thing that you could really point to say he wasn't in his right mind is Kid, like him not answering Kid, and then him saying Orochi-sama when he doesn't have to because no one's near him. But then everything else, it makes it seem like no, there's nothing wrong with him other than
Why
the
would he
laughing
attack?
part.
Like, he doesn't seem like a guy that would like attack Zoro like randomly for like or like do all the bidding of.
I mean, he could
Uh,
do the bidding of Orochi, so he can like let's say Orochi says like, okay, I might free Kid or I won't kill him if you do my bidding, and he's like, all right, to save Kid, I'll do this. But
I
when no one's
kind of
around him, like, there's no reason to say Orochi-sama.
like the fact this, even though like it sucks for Killer, I like the aspect of like yeah, come to like a Yonko's area or like a Wano area, there's gonna be consequences if like the entire kid crew got fucked up. Like that's dope. You
Yeah,
know, like
that
it
was
never
pretty
would
cool.
happen to the Straw Hats. You know what I'm saying?
I like how Killer's reveal was done too. It's just should have gone more in depth with it, but it's whatever. So for Apu, the reason I'm not that hyped for him is because again I don't think he's that great of a close quarters combatant. Maybe the arms are deceiving and he can actually like box and shit, but he, his arms just seem so fucking weird for actually like fighting hand to hand. Maybe he's just a kicker as well. Who knows? He doesn't seem like
Yeah.
he's someone that can't take a hit. I mean, he tanked Kizaru's kick. He didn't fucking die from it or anything. So I guess his body isn't like frail or anything, despite the weird appearance. But I don't feel like he's a strong close quarters combatant. And then his attacks realistically should move at the speed of sound. And speed of sound is literally nothing in One Piece. Like they can move so much faster than that.
For
So
sure, for sure. Speed of sound is like gear second is faster than that. For sure.
pre-time skip gear second is way faster than that.
Yeah.
I mean, pre-time skip Zoro was able to dodge lasers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like observation hockey should work theoretically, but if it doesn't, I guess that like helps with it being so slow. But realistically,
Even
like they
though
should just use observation and dodge it, no problem. And then him not being that good close quarters should just fuck him.
even though I agree with you about like Apu's like being, I can actually have him. He can have the potential if like his Delphi is actually hacks and he has some good physical attributes, and he probably has hockey. It's a lot of ifs. I agree. He can be like a top five supernova. Like depending how his fight against Kid goes. I honestly think he's gonna be a mid diff. Like there's too much on Kid's side emotion wise to be like losing to this nigga. He needs a dub right now. This will be Kid's warm up, I guess.
The only thing I could give Apu is that he has gotten like multiple scenes where he seems like Kid's rival in a sense. So you could say
Yeah,
because of that, Oda wants to set up them actually being close.
yeah, but like I agreed. At that point, they were like on the same tier in terms of like that similar motivations. Like, why would like someone have more reason to be mad at the other? But then now that he betrayed him and put like Kid through all that like hardship, I feel like that would just put him over the top. The Super Saiyan tiers for Kid when he's fighting him. Do you think he's
Mm.
getting up after his attack?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure. I haven't really made up my mind on it. I mean, I feel like he should.
Yo,
Otherwise, he would just seem like a buster.
look at what's his name. I don't know how he had like he had time to react, bro, to Kid. He just didn't. And
Yeah,
like
that's the
he's
thing. Like
sweating.
the same people that were like weren't giving Luffy or Zoro anything about being caught off guard, they were like, Apu was caught off guard, bro. Like,
He
shut
wasn't.
the
He
fuck
just
up.
said, "Go to hella poo." He even said, "Called him a kid." Gah, and he sweat, and he had a time to like flex his arm, then push it onto him.
Yeah, that's like the Koyoku versus Moten. The first thing, go to hell.
Yeah,
Kid low key
he
Koyoku.
he's actually sweating. You see the sweat on freaking Apu? He wasn't sweating in the panel previous.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite part of the chapter just because of the on site fucking meme. Like it's on site, bro, and it literally was on site. He saw him and he attacked. So I respect him for that, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's all his fault. Like the backstabber, and like Kid could have just like did the same thing Apu did, where I hit him without them knowing. He literally called his name out, letting them know it's coming, bro. And
Yeah,
then like,
that's some G shit to be honest.
yeah.
He told him I'm finna load with you either way, so it doesn't matter.
I like. Do you think like sound can like fuck up metal the same way that it can like fuck up like the human body? I don't know really.
I mean, it just does destructive damage in general, so yeah.
Yeah. That attack looks sick, dude. I don't know where you got all that metal from. I see like some freaking wind pipes and all that shit. Like,
Yeah, I don't
did he
know.
carry?
The only thing is like I'm getting worried, like, is Oda just gonna have him spam the same attack over and over again? Is he about to be
The thing is,
smoker up in this bitch?
I feel like just if he like this is like the same thing as Luffy attacking someone with elephant gun or something. Like it's like a basic bread and butter attack at this point.
Yeah,
There's nothing
either
like
Oda's just not creative enough to give Kid a good moveset, or this is just more hype for Kid because he's not pulling out the real shit.
no chance point out right now. What do you think about the whole speak? This is like the chapter like ended, but like, what do you think was the whole like Zoro getting hella downplayed because of the chapter and like people saying the whole Zoro killing Kaido shit is like out the window, even though I don't think you believe in it anyway. What's your take on the entire thing?
I mean, it doesn't really make sense because Luffy looked worse than Zoro. I mean, there's no
Yeah,
way to really compare it because we don't know how strong the slash attack is to the explosive attack. So we
yeah,
can't say for sure, but Luffy got knocked out and Zoro didn't. Zoro, like, he did good on his knees, but immediately after, he was fine. So that just goes for his endurance. I don't know, like,
yeah,
we'd have to get more instances of Apu's slicing attack actually hitting other people so he can scale it better. But I just took it as Zoro tanked that shit, no problem. That's a feat for Zoro.
yeah. But people are saying he took an L. Like I guess JD on Twitter and shit like that are saying like all Zoro does is fucking. No, it's not an L. But
He's
he's just
probably
hella.
trolling.
Yeah.
The only
The
thing
whole
I
thing.
would like criticize is Zoro's like not using observation hockey, but you can't even criticize that when Luffy was supposed to have future sight didn't use it either.
Yeah, for
So yeah,
sure.
there's nothing to really criticize here. I mean, if Zoro had like hockey on, I think he would just tank it without any marks.
They literally just got caught off guard and like survived. Like they're fine. It's not like they're like hurt at all. I don't think this is significant damage to anybody.
Yeah, I think it would do even less damage also if Zoro was actually like flexing his muscles. Like back to the killer thing, like he could stab through his shoulder, but when Zoro's actually flexing, he can't pull it out.
Yeah, true. And,
So yeah,
and
I
if
don't know. I
Zoro
don't
could
think it
see
really
it,
downplayed him in any way.
if Zoro could see that attack, it's like easy. He's just like casually blocking that shit, in my opinion. So
Yeah. I mean, it is supposed to be speed of sound, so yeah, for sure.
yeah, people are like other people probably say it's speed of sound, bro. Like he's no chance he's not that fast. Like obviously he's fast. People just say Zoro isn't fast for whatever reason. What do you rate the chapter overall?
Uh, I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary padding in this chapter.
Yeah,
So I'll probably give it like a 6, maybe a 7. But 7 would
I
be
give
like a biased answer.
I give it a 6 as well. I just like to find the kid did something. We get Apu in the fold. Like everyone's in the same place right now. And like my theory of possibly Kid Zoro after they beat Killer, after they beat Apu, Luffy, Zoro, and Kid fighting King Queen and beating them. That'd be
Mhm.
dope.
Yeah,
All
I
in the
am
same match.
excited to see Queen getting up in here.
I don't think
Actually, I
like
can't even say 6 because what I'm basing the 6 on is like, okay, there's a lot of padding. They were like mentioning the
nothing
fodder
really
and like
happened.
them reacting to Luffy and Zoro there and like the situation in general with Luffy and Zoro being there. I think there was too much focus on that. Basically, the only important things that happened was Luffy and Zoro lashing out because of their motivation and then Apu attacking Luffy and Zoro, and then Kid attacking Apu, which is like literally not that much at all. Like it's very bare bones, but I do like what happened at the same time. So I feel like we didn't get that much content or that much substance in general, but what we did get was like fairly entertaining. Though a big part of that it has to do with like us just being starved of like good content in general. So in that sense, I would say it's a 6. But then I have to factor in the inconsistencies with Luffy and Zoro not being able to detect it with observation haki, especially Luffy. And then I think
Uh,
Luffy getting knocked out is pretty stupid. So with the inconsistencies taken into account, I have to give it like a 5.
yeah, I think like 5.5 to 6. I enjoyed some parts. Queen Tama, all that shit at the beginning, and then Kid coming back and Apu, and then like Queen's Hall and motivation to get rid of one of the who's like makes me like really like how people in Kaido's crew are getting built up. Like the Fine Six seems to be a problem in both sides for Kaido and like internally. It was like Queen and shit. So like at least have some interest going for them. Like if this didn't happen, I wouldn't really give a shit about Flying Six. You know what I'm saying? But I think Oda did
Yeah.
a good job making me care about them.
I feel like that moment in general is arguably the best part of the chapter because it leaves you with something like to really look forward to.
I like the backdrop of it too. It was like fucking dark.
Say
I
that
don't
again?
know. I like the backdrop of it. It was like dark.
Oh
And you're
yeah,
like,
like Queen is dead fucking serious. He's like, I'm finna low div someone. But yeah, I think we went over pretty much everything.
yeah.
I don't know if there's too many other talking points.
Just it wasn't really like I said. Like it wasn't really much to talk about. And the fact is, like, it kind of sucks that not that I really care, but it's like kind of sucks that it's like a 2 week break for each chapter. So like even less to talk about when like it's not like we can't really like reference the last chapter as much. Like doing like the small what's the word he's giving us like small steps each chapter till the word builds up. So like a slow pro of the like the word build up.
Yeah,
The
I
word
mean, at the
itself.
very least, it feels like from here on out, things should get popping. So there's that at least, but 2 weeks is a pain in the ass, and arguably, like, it might even go to a month or maybe more if coronavirus, like, keeps spreading.
Yep.
But
Other than
yeah,
that, really not
dark
much else.
times, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you like stepping up the kingdom, not kingdom, the One Piece topics on your channel. You getting any more character analysis?
Uh, depends. I feel like I might do one for Garp, but there's not really any characters that I want to do one for. Maybe one for Zoro, but
You can ask people in the comments if they want anybody they want it done. If they ever reached this part of the video, you know what I'm saying? The loyal listeners.
yeah. I don't really get any video recommendations, though.
Yeah. Do you even ask?
Sometimes I do. The only tips I've gotten are like making an intro.
Yeah. Say my name correctly. Like that.
Druko. But yeah, I think I'll end it here.
Cool.
Decent chapter, I guess. It was better than the last one. At least leaves us with things to look forward to.
I like the
And
highs the last chapter better though. Even though this was cool and all. I like the whole Tobiroba Kaido interactions. Yamato interaction. Like that.
definitely arguable. I guess then it's definitely better than the chapters before last chapter.
For sure. I don't even remember what happened. Can't tell you.
Basically stalling for them getting to Onigashima. But yeah, we'll end it at that. Peace.